Hello and welcome. Let's first of all get that beeping off. If you're just joining me now, welcome to today's stream. Today we are going to be making a smart obby, and today we're going to be doing the systems for the obby. So this smart obby is going to allow you to join the game, and it's going to put you right back up where you were left off. Let's say you joined the game, you played to the level 10 for example, and let's say you got to level 10 and then you decided to come off and you wanted to go back onto it. It would put you back to where that is. So let's go ahead and start off with a base plate to get things off started with. So you want to load yourself a base plate up, and you want to go ahead and go to file and save, and make sure you save it into a folder. This is just organization purposes, and then we're going to give it a name. We're just going to go call it we'll just call it Smart Obby Tutorial. Smart Obby Tutorial. And then we're going to go ahead and create a new game, and we'll also go and call this Smart Obby version 1, I guess, because we might have multiple versions, I guess. We'll say in this game the objective, if I can spell objective, is simple. Do parkour and make your way to the end. And then we'll leave a smiley face. Why not? Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and press save and create. So there we go. It's going to say successfully published. We can go ahead and close out that now. And this is going to give us a few more options to do with. So first of all, we need to go ahead and go to game settings, and we need to go ahead and go to options, and we need to go ahead and enable HTTP requests. We also need to go ahead and enable sudo access to API services. The reason why we're doing this is because this allows us to use data stores in order to save data. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to go ahead and create a spawn place. So we'll go ahead up here and we'll go ahead and give a folder, and we'll go ahead and name this one lobby, I guess, or lobby room, doesn't really matter. Lobby room. Yeah, we'll just leave it for lobby for now. So we'll go ahead and create a part inside of lobby, and we'll go ahead and make this like a decent size. So we just want a generic area to start off with. So we'll go ahead and just start off like this. We'll go ahead and turn cast shadows off. Make sure to anchor your parts, otherwise they'll just fall. And once you've done this, we're going to go ahead and just press Ctrl D to duplicate it. We're going to move it up so it's above, and then we're just going to go ahead and scale it down, and we're just going to create something like this. We're then going to go ahead and give it like a grass colour. I'm going to go for something like not lime green, we're going to go for something like that. And then we're just going to go ahead and give it a grass texture. Or even a dirt texture might be good as well, so let's go ahead and look for dirt. I think dirt is an option. Could be wrong. Yep, definitely wrong, okay. Go ahead and play with it and see what we like the best. So that's not bad, but it's a little bit too much. How about cobblestone? A bit weird. Concrete? Not really great. Okay, we'll just go ahead and stick with grass for now. And then we'll go ahead and give this a dirt colour. And then we'll go ahead and make that concrete. And that's going to give it a nice kind of like dirt texture, I guess. So what we're going to do now is, like I said, this is going to be a lobby. So what we can do now with these parts, we can just go ahead and model. And we can go ahead and union those parts, because we're not going to be adding anything into them. make sure to anchor that and turn cast shadows off. So now we've got this, we can alter it a little bit more. And yeah, so let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is just going to copy and paste another 3 of these. So 9, so copy, paste, I keep pressing the wrong button. Control D to copy and paste it into the same area. So we're just going to place this next to it. And then we're just going to do the exact same over here. There we go. And then we're just going to go ahead and give us a nice decent platform to spawn on. So we'll go ahead and copy them. And we'll just make that a 3x3 area. Again, if there's any like gaps like this, we'll fix it in a minute. We'll just go ahead and copy them. And give us a nice little platform for the players to actually spawn on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just fix these gaps now. So we'll just go ahead and copy these guys. We just want to move them in a tiny bit. Okay, there we go. We're just going to do the exact same to get rid of these gaps. There we go. And we have a few gaps here, so let's go ahead and move them in and get that done. Okay. There we go. So now we've got a nice little area for the players to spawn on. So what we can do go ahead and do now is we can just copy one of these parts, and we'll move out here because we might want to use the same part again. But for the rest of these, we can just go ahead and union them as well, and that will become this solid area, which is what we're going to be wanting to do. So now we've got that, we can go ahead and bring these files into the lobby folder. And now we're going to be doing is we can go ahead and just name this spawn area. Spawn area. So this is going to be the spawn area. We can go ahead and start scripting now, because this is what we're doing in this episode. We're doing the systems. So what we're also going to be doing is we're going to create a script inside of server script service. We're going to rename this one and call it player setup. And then I like to do this so I know it's a server script, as it comes up here, server. So what we're going to do now is we need to create an event so that when the player joins, we need to then go ahead and start to make the systems and get everything working. So we're going to go ahead and create a variable named, well, we're not going to create a variable, we're going to create a function. So there's a local on player join, and then we'll go ahead and put player as our parameter, and then we just need to put a function before that. There we go. So that is a function. So now we go ahead and we'll just go up here and we'll put in this, and we'll go ahead and put services. This is just purely for neatness. We can go ahead and do that as well if we wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it as is. I think it's quite nice like that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and come down to here and we'll do the exact same, and we'll say functions. There we go. And then we'll go ahead on here and do the exact same, and now we'll say events. Always good to comment your scripts, guys, because if you come back to it at a later date, you might not know what you're doing with it. So we'll go ahead and put when player joins. Okay. So we're also going to be needing a function as well, which is going to save. So we're going to say local function on player leave, and then we'll put player as our parameter as well. and we're just going to name it when player leaves. Simple. Except I forgot that I just need to copy this out a second and press enter. There we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that now. So now we'll go ahead and start working with this. So we'll go ahead and say game.players.playerAdded connect on player join. And then we're going to do the same for game.players.playerRemoving connect on player leave. So we've got those set up. So now when a player joins, we'll just go ahead and do this, and we'll say print hi. So now if we go and press play, you'll see it'll print hi out into the chat. There we go, prints hi. So that's go ahead and starting things off, because that's going to detect when a player joins, which is what we're kind of looking for here. And I just need to do one thing here quickly while I work on the next bit. So the next thing we need to do is our stats. So we'll get working on that very, very shortly. I just need to bring something up here and get things rolling. So the next thing we're going to be doing is our stats. So let's go ahead and create a function for stats. Give me a second here. I need to just move this out of the way. Give me a second. I've loaded the wrong one up. Okay, here we go. Let's get this up and running. If I can get this working, we shall be fine. Like I said, this episode's focused on the system, so it will be quite technical. So give us a second here while I just get this up on the right side. And I just remind myself on how I did it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our stuff ready. So we'll go up to services here, and we'll say local data store service equals game get service data store service, and then we're going to say we're going to put our variables there. So we'll go up here and say variables, and then we're going to say local stats store equals data store service get data store. So we'll say get data store, and then we're just going to give it a name. So this could be anything you want, but we're going to do stats version 0001 or something like that, and we can always change it at a later date. Doesn't really matter. Just keep in mind that if you change this is going to affect all the players in the game. So if you're going to be messing with this, then make sure that it carries over from the last data store. So we're going to come down here now, and we're also going to say local lobby folder equals workspace wait for child, and then we're going to give a name lobby. So hello lobby, there we go. So now we're going to go ahead and also list our spawn area. So we'll say local spawn area equals lobby folder find first child and then we're going to put in our spawn area. So spawn area, just like that. Okay, so now we've got our spawn area. So we're going to come back down here, and now we're just going to make things a little bit more nicer. So we'll go up here and we'll say local. We'll make two functions. So we'll make two functions, and one function will be, we'll say local. We think. Okay, we'll say local save. Let me just double check what I've done here on my other. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we'll do local save of local function save stats, and we're going to have the player parameter in there. So we're going to come up here, and we're also going to add two more variables. We're going to say local tries, and that's going to be equal to 3. We're also going to say local data loaded equals false. So now we've got local data loaded equals false. We're also going to add another function here underneath save stats. I'm going to say local function, and this is going to be get stats. And we're also going to have a player parameter in there as well. So we are also going to now have a function above here, above the player, and this is going to say local function create player stats. Simply as that. Create player stats. So when the player joins, we want them to create stats. So what we're going to say is we're going to say inside of create stats, we're also going to have a player parameter. Which we'll just go ahead and name PLR for short. We can actually just do that for all of these. We don't need it to be player. We can just do PLR for shortness. So we'll go ahead and just change that down to PLR for all of them. So let's go ahead and start with creating our stats. So what we're going to do is in create player stats, we're going to say local ls equals instance.new folder, and we're going to parent that to the player. Okay, but we're also going to say if player find first child leader stats is equal to nil, then and then we can go ahead and create a stat. So this is going to allow us to make sure that the player doesn't already have them in their folder. So we'll say ls.name equals leader stats. Very, very simple. So now we're going to go ahead and say local stage equals instance.new, and this is going to be an int value. And we're going to parent that to ls this time. So I'm going to say stage.name stage. As simply as that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move up to our save stats. And we're going to start to do the mathematical stuff for saving our stats. So under save stats, we're going to say if data is loaded, then we will say we know the player has data. Okay, so then we're going to say local key, and this is going to equal to player .plr.user ID. Now what this is, it's a unique identifier, so each player is unique to the server, so it's going to remember that, okay, this player has 10 coins, it needs to add 10 coins to this player. It's just a way of it showing you, it's just a way of being organised and keeping different players with different values. So now we're going to go ahead and type in local count equals 0. Because what we're going to do with this is we're going to mimic it and give it up to 3 tries. So we're going to say local count equals 0. And then we'll say local ls equals player find first child leader stats, and then we're going to say local data equals, and then we'll say data types. So now what you want to do here is, what we're doing here is we're creating a dictionary. Now if you don't know what dictionaries are, basically it's a way of Roblox, well, it's basically a way of you saying that, let's say an apple is a reference to a dog, just as an example, and a banana is a reference to a pig, for just an example. So if I wanted to get the dog, I would just have to write the word pig, and I could get the word, so I'd have to write the word banana and it would get pig. Anyway, so let's go ahead and just comment that back up here. So we have stages in our Obby, so we'll go ahead and say stages, or stage, we'll do stage, and then we'll say equals ls dot stage, and you just want to name what you've actually put, dot value. And then you can add as many as you want here, so you can just put a comma and then just go downwards. So now we're going to go underneath here, I'm going to say local success. So success error. And then we're going to say repeat. And then we're going to just come underneath here and we're going to say success. So we'll do repeat until count is greater than or equal to tries or success. So then we'll go ahead and say success, comma error equals pcall function, and then here we're going to say stat store. I'm going to say, so this is the save stats, so we're going to say set async, and then we're going to say key, comma data. And then we're going to go to underneath here and we're going to say count equals count plus 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and look what we've got here. So we've got repeat, so we're going to say repeats until either success or max tries. Repeats set data, set async until either success or max tries. Okay, so now we're going to come underneath our save stats function here. I'm going to say if not success, then we know it's going to fail. So if it's not success, so we'll say if it fails, if it fails, then we'll say print the error to the console. Okay, so now we'll say warn failed to set players data error code ... toString error. So now it's just going to give us a warning if it errors. So now we're going to come back over to here and we're just going to say return underneath return, and then we're going to say else return as well. And that is the set script done, the set stats. So we're going to go ahead and say sets the player's data to the data store. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move down to the get stats. So we'll go ahead and just go ahead and do this. So we'll say, we'll go ahead and copy the exact same thing here. So we'll do that now, and we'll say, yep, just copy this here. Okay, 1 second. We'll just write it out. It's fine. So what I'm going to say is we're going to say local key. This has to be exact same as the one we had before. So player player user ID, and then we'll go ahead and do local count equals 0, local success error and then we'll say local data, and then we'll go ahead and do repeat, and we'll do exact same. So it says repeats until success or max tries. So then we'll go ahead and do repeat until. And what have we got here? Why have we got a script error? Why have we got a script error here? Okay. Because we haven't. Okay, so we say repeats until count. So we'll make sure to put count here. Count is greater than or equal to tries or success. Okay, there we go. So that's going to be the exact same word as here. So let's go ahead and do that there. So now we're going to say success. Success, error, equals pcall, function. I'm basically doing the exact same thing we did above, except now we're going to say data equals stat store, get data this time, or get async. And now we're going to just say key. So now we're going to say count count equals count plus 1. And now we're going to go ahead and go under here, and we're going to say if not success, then we're going to warn failed to load player's data, error code, error code, and then we'll say ... toString error. And then we're going to kick the player to make sure that they keep the data, because let's say the player joins the game and they try to load back in, and let's just say for example they're on stage 50. Well, if Roblox crashes or something, there's a chance that they could lose their progress. So this is going to enable us to save their progress. So we'll say player kick. There we go. And it also says we've got a script error. I don't know why it's saying that we've got a script error. If end, yep. If not, then yep. Ah, we've got an end here. There we go. There we go. We just missed an end here, so we'll just go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now we've kicked the player from the game. We save the data, so we're going to say return. And then we're going to say else return. And then we're going to open a bracket. Now this is our dictionary, so what we're going to do here is the exact same as we did above. We're going to say, well, we can just leave this here. We can say, no, stage, and then we're going to say, well, this is going to be their default values, so we're going to say stage equals 0, because we know it's going to be a new player. So we'll go ahead and give them the default stage of 0. And that should be that. We just need to add another just double checking, because it says here that we've got should have if okay, I've missed something. So we need to say if else if data, then we will return data, else return. So now we just need to copy this and paste it inside of here. So now we'll say else return that. Let's just try and do that properly. There we go. Else return this. Okay. So So this is going to be our default values. So default values for new player. So there we go. We'll say if player has any data, if the player has any data, because the player might not have any data, so if player is new to the game, okay, so that's going to be our stats saving system in place. So now we're going to come down to here. I'm going to say stage, and we're just going to say, okay, we're going to say local. We'll come under here and we'll say local. Actually, no, we'll do it above. We'll do it above because it is nicer. The local values equals, and this will be get stats, and then we'll do player folder, which will be PLR. So we'll get the players folder by saying PLR. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come into here and we're going to say set the data values. So now we'll say stage dot value equals, and then we'll say values dot stage. There we go. And then right underneath this, we can go ahead and say data loaded equals true, because we know that it is loaded by then. So we say data loaded. Okay. So now we just need to go ahead and make sure that the game saves correctly. Let's say if a player was to leave the game, if the game was to close down by the host, so we would say local function and we're going to create a function here and we'll call it what we'll call this function. We'll call it game. How would we call it? How would we put it? Safety check. Safety. No. Safe. Game. How do I put it? We'll call it error handler or game handler. Game handler probably sounds better. Game handler. Just in case, let's say the Roblox decides to crash and the game shuts down. This will save players' data, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we won't have any parameters in here, so we'll go ahead and come into here and we'll say game bind to close, and then we're going to connect our function above, so we'll say game handler. So now we're going to just say for I, v in next, comma game dot players get children, do, and then we'll say if v, then save stats v. This is just going to make sure that if Roblox crashes, if Roblox crashed, save all data. Okay. So that's that. I just need to check that we've got everything. Okay, so yep. So now what we need to do is we're going to create a spawn function. And we're going to have two of these. We're going to say, come up here and we'll say local lobby spawn function lobby spawn. And then we're also going to say local stage spawn. So stage spawn, because this is going to be their current stage. So we've got that set up. So we just need to go ahead and do a few more things to get this, make sure it's working properly. So we've done that. So when the player joins the game, we need to go ahead and create the stats. So we'll say if player, then. So if we've got the player, just going to make sure that we've got the player. We're going to say local character equals player dot character, or player dot character added weight, and then we're going to say if character then. So if we've got the player, then we're going to repeat. No, we're going to create the stats, create player stats. And we'll pass the player through there. So if we've got the player, then we'll create the player stats. And that's going to load our stuff for us, which is nice. And then we're just going to come down to on player leaving, and we're just going to do save stats. And we're just going to put in the player as our parameter through here, making sure we also do if player here as well. Okay, so that is that. So if we go ahead and press play now, what we should see is the player should spawn in and they should have stats on the top right of the screen. There we go. Stage. So now if we were to go ahead and give ourselves some stages, for example. So we'll come up here and we'll say, where are we? We'll come to the server, so yeah, we'll go to players, my name, leader stats, stage, and let's say we've set it to 50. If we were to go ahead and press stop, as you can see, nothing's happened, but if we go ahead and load back in, you'll see that it'll still say the number 50. And there we go. So that's going to be our smart stage detector system. So that's going to be that. So we are going to just take a momentary break. and then we'll be doing the next stuff in a few moments' time. So we are going to just take a little break here. So we're just going to make sure that we have everything looking right. So we're just going to have, we're just going to be gone for a few minutes. We're going to be gone for like 10 minutes. Okay, just give us a second here while we get everything up and running. So 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. So moving on from the start. So we need to know if the player is either new to the game or they're not new. Because if they are new, we then need to spawn them in the correct, appropriate place. So we're going to take our two functions here, and we're just going to move these up. And we're just going to place them above our functions up here. So now we're going to come up here and we're going to say local, well, we're going to have a folder here, and this is going to be named stages spawn. So that's going to be named stages spawn. So we're going to go ahead and create a variable to that as well. We'll say local stages spawn equals workspace wait for child stages spawn. So we're also going to have a variable. So if we know the player, so we'll go to get stats, and then we'll come down to here and we'll say where it says default values for a new player. So we know it's going to be a new player here. So we can come up here and we can say if they are new to the game, and then we're going to say up here, we're going to say local player is new. And that's going to equal to false to start off with. And we'll come back down to here and we'll say if, okay, so we'll say player is new equals true. If the player has any data, then we'll say player is new equals false. And that's just going to allow us to check if the player has any data or not. So now we'll come back down to the player join, and we'll say if character then, and we're also we're going to need a function up here, so we'll say local function on player def. Because we will need to know if they've died, and we'll teleport them in once they've when they've died. So if character then what we're going to do is we're going to say if is new player is equal to true, then we're going to say lobby spawn, and we're going to pass the character through there. Else we're going to do stage spawn, which is spawn stage, I think it is actually named. Yep, stage spawn. And we'll also pass the character through there as well. So we've gone ahead and passed the character through there. So we know if the player is now new to the game or they're not new to the game. Hello, welcome to the stream. So if they are new to the game, so we'll go ahead and be able to say player is new to the game, and then we'll come down here and we'll say player is not new to the game. And then we'll come up here and we'll say if character then. If character then. Okay. So now we can go up here and we can say for the lobby spawn, what we're going to do is we're going to say local X, and then we'll say local Y, local Z. So local X equals, and then we'll have the character as our parameter in here. So we'll do PLR character. Or we'll just do character for short. Yeah, character for short. So local X equals, and this is going to be math.random. And now we're going to take our spawn area part. So spawn area dot position, and we're going to take the spawn area dot size. So position dot x, take spawn area dot size dot x, and then we're going to divide that by 3. We're just going to come up here and we're going to say, we'll come here and we'll say local spawn radius, and that's going to be equal to 3. So now we're going to say spawn area dot position. Okay, no, sorry. Spawn radius we need to have here. Spawn radius. We have a comma, and then we're going to say spawn area dot position plus spawn area dot size dot x this time. And then we're also going to divide that by spawn radius as well. So now we're just going to say y equals to spawn radius dot position dot y, and then for the z we're just going to copy this what we've got up here and just change it for z. So z equals that, and now we're just going to say z on all of these. And there we go. So now we're going to say character dot humanoid root part dot humanoid root part dot cframe equals cframe dot new, and then we're going to say x, y, z, and then we're going to say plus vector3 dot new 0, 5, 0. So now we're going to come down to our stage spawn function, and it's going to be very, very similar, but we're not going to be able to. Well, we don't need to do all the math. All we're going to do now is we're going to say stages spawn. Okay, we're going to say, let's have a look what you said, sir. Second. we've got something here. Just going to quickly check something out. Why have you not shown up? What is... Okay, give us a second here while we get this up and rolling. That didn't work out properly, the first episode. I'm going to have to delete that from the channel. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to quickly get things rolling here. So we need to okay, so we're gonna get the character from the player. So we're gonna say local player equals game get. So game.players get players from character, and then we're going to put car in there. So now we're going to say local current stage equals player wait for child leader stats. We'll also say then we'll do find first child, and then we'll do stage dot value. So now we're going to say character dot humanoid root part dot cframe equals cframe dot new current stage. Oh, so we're going to say, okay, so we're going to say stages spawn we'll do find first child, and we'll do stages spawn, wait, no, so we would do current stage, and then we'll say dot position plus vector 3 dot new 0, 5, 0. So that's going to allow the players to spawn 5 studs above their current stage. So if we were to go ahead and put in here, let's say a part, and we're to name that part 1, and then we'll just go ahead and copy this, and then we'll just say for I, v in pairs, and we'll do workspace dot stages spawn get children do, And then we'll say v.name equals I end. And there we go. We've just gone ahead and named all of them. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. So if we were to go ahead and spawn in now, we should get the character to spawn randomly upon this area. And second here. So we have press play now. Okay, what do we get? We got a nail to position. Okay, let's just work through the errors because that's what all the coding is all about. Sure. So we're just going to work through these errors that we've got. So we're just going to. So it said there was an issue with the position of something. So let's just check what the error is. Attempt to index nail with dot position. So that is here. So we're going to say. So we say spawn stages, find first child, current stage, dot position. Okay, so we're going to say so we need to say to string, current stage, dot position. Let's say position. There we go. I think I spelled position wrong, but that should work now. Attempt to index nail with position. Okay. Attempt to index nil. So stage is spawn. Find first child. Current stage. So what our current stage dot value. So we can say player.leader stats. We can just go ahead and remove this and say player.leader stats. And then we'll say .stage. .stage. .value. So this should hopefully work. So why is it getting a nil? That's the question. Position. It's finding an issue with position. So let's try do .cframe then. So we'll say .cframe. And let's see if that works. Okay, so I know why it's not working, because there isn't a stage 0, which is fine. So we just want to say, we'll come up here and we'll say .position, which is fine because there won't actually be a. So if we do this, we can actually just make this a lot more neater by taking this away, and we can say current stage. There we go. .position. We're also going to say have a check in here. We'll say if current stage is not equal to 0, then it will do this listed thing here. Else, we will lobby spawn. And we'll just put the character in there as well. So that should work now. We should get that to spawn us on the lobby. 50 is not a valid member folder. There we go, it's working. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to change our checkpoint system. So we'll go ahead and we'll just give ourselves the value of 0 to start off with. So we'll go to players, my name, leader stats, and we'll say 0. So now if we were to go ahead and stop and restart, what you should see is the character should be teleported straight to the lobby. And what we're going to do is we're just going to spread these out so you can get a kind of reference to how the system's going to work. So we'll just go ahead and move 2 over here, and we'll give it a different colour just for like an example. So we'll go ahead and anchor all of these as well. So number 3, this should be. So we'll go ahead and grab number 3, and we'll take that and put it over here. Number 4. We'll just keep doing it so we can get a good example of kind of where it's actually doing it. So we'll go ahead and see if it is working. So we're just going to come up here and we're just going to, apparently I've done something, okay, there we go. So we're just going to come down here and I'm going to say, instead of v.name, we're going to say v.brick color equals brick color dot random. And okay, so now we can get all them random colors. This is going to be a good way to show off how this is going to work. So we're just going to move this guy over here. Or is that number 3? Okay, I've moved number 1 accidentally. So number 1 can replace itself with number 3. There we go. So, if we go ahead and press start, test, play. Okay, it says fail to index with a number of positions. So where is that? Position. Ah, that's because we've done that wrong. It's not spawn radius, it's going to be spawn area. There we go. So we just go ahead and change that, make that script change. And we'll go ahead and press play now. And now that should, and so it will spawn us on in the lobby. Okay, that's fine. We just need to add a wait in before it spawns us. So if we come up to here and we'll just say wait respawn. If we do character.humanoid.respawn res respawn. So if we go ahead and wait like 0.5, it should fix all of the issues that we have here. So yeah, we just need to add a wait here. Wait 0.5. That should now fix all the issues and we should get the character spawning where it should be. There we go. Now to prove this does work, what we're going to do is give ourselves, just a second here, we're going to change our stage. So I'm just going to load it up again just to show you that it does work, and we will spawn randomly on this area every time. So we're going to, that's fine, that's Roblox issue, that's not any issue of mine. So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves, let's say we put ourselves to stage, I don't know, let's say we put ourselves to stage 3 as an example. We will go ahead and stop, and then we press play. We should spawn on stage 3. And there we go. And that is our lobby system done. So now we can just keep adding stages, and it will automatically allow the player to spawn upon the stage. And this is good because we can actually manipulate the game into doing things with these blocks. So that's going to be the spawn logic. Now we just have to do the death stuff. So we're going to come down to our player spawn function, which is going to be down here on player death. So now we're going to say, character dot humanoid dot died, and then we're going to say connect, and then we're going to have to create a function here, and then we're going to say on player death. Now what we're doing here is we're creating an anonymous function. What this means is, well, basically we can't call this script, we can't pass anything through here. Roblox doesn't allow us to do that, but we can get around that by just putting function and creating two functions that will then fire both at the same time. So inside of here we're going to put the character. So now we can come up here and we can say character. So now what we're going to do is we want to say wait res spawn time. I think just going to have to look this up 1 second. We're just going to make it okay, so what we're going to do is under here we're going to say okay. So yeah, we're going to say here, we're going to pass, we're going to say local player equals game dot players get player from character, and we'll do car. There we go. So now we're going to say if character dot humanoid, then, and then we're going to say local delay equals 5, and we're going to say if character.humanoid, then we're going to say wait respawn delay, so we'll say delay. We'll do respawn rate respawn delay, and then we're going to say player load character. And then we're just going to pass through the player. So we're going to say spawn stage. Stage spawn. And then we're just going to pass the same variable that we passed up here, which is going to be character. So we'll pass the character through there. And then we're going to come down here. And we're just going to say player load character. And then we're just going to do stage spawn as well. So now, if we go ahead and press play, what we should get is the character should spawn in its proper area. There we go. And we can reset the character and it should spawn back to where it should be. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it said index with leader stats. Where's that? Local current stage. Okay, we just need to add a wait for child under here. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So we'll find our where is it? Where is it? It was right, lobby spawn. Here we go. So we need to go ahead and do player wait for child. There we go. Now that should work now. So as you can see, if we were to go ahead and run off and then we were to go ahead and die, it should spawn the character on their appropriate stage. Wait for child. Okay, index with a nil. Okay. Wait for child. Why? What have we done wrong there? Player wait for child. Is that right? Have I got that right? Wait for child. Let's do find first child then. Find first child. Okay. So there we go. We've got them to spawn on the thing. So now if we go ahead and reset. Find first child. Okay. So let's work out why it's given us this error then. So it's saying it's nil. So what we can do is we can say under the spawn thing we can just say repeat wait until current stage is not equal to nil. And then we'll do print found stage. So now it should work properly. Okay, there we go. Found stage. So it should work now. If we go ahead and reset our player. Aha, so it's not actually finding... Okay, that's fine. So we can remove this now because we're not actually getting the character through here. So let's find out why it's doing that then. Let's go back down to our character script here. So on player death, so let's have a look why it's not passing through the character. So humanoid died, connect function, on player death. So if we were to just take this out, let's just try this. Okay, let's try that. It's trial and error now. That's all scripting is trial and error. So, player dies. Attempt to find first child. Where is that? Okay. Let's do wait for child then. So now it'll wait for the child. So let's go ahead and okay. So we're going to have to do some error shooting here and try and find what is causing it. So it's this here. So why is it not finding the leader stats? So let's just do and current stage is not equal to nil. I suppose we could always... Let's just try getting rid of that, and let's just try adding a repeat, wait until current stage is not equal to nil. Let's try that. Okay. So that worked. Let's go ahead and try respawning. It seems to be firing it a bit too fast. So I guess what we could do is, I mean, it doesn't really matter where we actually have this. So if we were to take this out, we're just going to have to take a simpler solution, simpler way to work this. So connect, and let's say we do a function here. Let's just try pasting this in here. Although we already had the player, so we won't need this anymore. So we just do PLR. PLR. And this should work now. So we go ahead and reset. We should get the characters to spawn on their stage now. Wait for child. Line 22, so I don't really know why it's doing that. Player dot leader stats. Dot stage. Right, okay. We could just change it around. I suppose there's no issue with changing it around. LS. We could just do LS. Look at LS. And then we're just going to have to go up here and say local LS equals player. Wait for child. leader stats. Repeat until ls is not equal to nil. We could do ls is not equal to until ls is not equal to nil. And then we're just gonna, yep, that should work. So let's go ahead and try that out now. Okay. So we got the successful spawning, so let's try. Hopefully it should spawn when the player dies now. Wait, attempt to index child with wait for child. Okay. We could always, okay, we're gonna have to replace the player. No we don't, no we don't. Player. So we're gonna say, we can get rid of this, and we're gonna say if ls then. Let's try that. Okay, so it spawns correctly, but if they die, does it spawn back? Here's where we find out. Okay. So we can just, let's try adding the waiting beforehand and see if that fixes the issue. So let's go ahead and make our way over to here, and let's just try adding a waiting before. Let's say we'll do a wait 0.5, then just let's see if this works. Okay, we'll have to change the timings a little bit, but it should be fine. If this works now, it should be great. Okay, no, it's not finding the character weirdly. So we're going to have to do a little rework on this, which is no big issue here. So we're just going to get rid of this. And get rid of this if statement here. Okay, we're just going to have to do a little bit of a rework with the player died. Okay, so when the player dies, we can wait a respawn time. I'm pretty sure you can do something like that. So we can say, we need to say if character dot humanoid then, and that's when we do this. Wait for child humanoid. So now we'll say humanoid, so we'll say character dot humanoid dot died, connect function. So we have done the character. So we'll say character dot humanoid Wait, no, sorry, my bad. Wait. So we'll come up here and we'll say local wait delay. Wait delay. And then we'll say player load character. So then we'll come out of these statements here and we'll say is that right? I feel that's wrong. There must be a better way of doing this. Let me think. Aha, so there we go. So what we need to do... Yeah, I was right. So you can just do this. We can just say... When the player dies, we can say... We can just say player dot... So wait player dot respawn time. And then we can say stage spawn, and it'll pass the character through. So this should work now, hopefully. So, if the player jumps off and dies, for example, the respawn time is not a valid member of player, but it is a valid member of the player service. So, if we were to do... So if we do player.parent, that should work now, hopefully. Fingers crossed this should work. So, jump off. And then this should work now. Okay. So let's do plus 0.5, I guess, would be... Let's try this, try and see if this works now. So let's try this. Wait for child. Huh, okay. So why isn't that working then? Because the character is valid, so must be something wrong with our script up here. Let's find our stage spawn script, which is here. So player, wait for child. And we'll just go ahead and remove this wait temporarily for now. And we'll just say repeat, repeat, wait until ls not equal to nil. So this should now work, hopefully. We'll jump off and then we'll press reset. Hopefully this will work now. Wait for child. Why is it always doing this, man? What is going on? Okay. We need to fix this. So find first child. Okay, let's try and see if this works. Why is it? So what we're going to do to solve this error, we're going to come up here and we're just going to say, print character. That will tell us if it's nil or not, so we know. Yeah, that will work. So we're going to jump off now and reset. Okay, so it found the player. Right. Okay. So it is finding it then. So why is it not? So let's just do player.leader stats and let's see what happens if we were to do this. Let's just do this and let's just say, let's do print. Okay, that should work, so let's try that. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump off and respawn. Index nil with leader stats. So maybe we are referencing the wrong player then. And if that's the case, that it's fine, we just have to change a few things. So let's say we were to get rid of the player then. We will have to put in a parameter here as well, and we'll do PLR player here. Let's try that. So we're just going to have to, wherever we say stage spawn. So what we'll do is we'll do this and we'll do Control F. Okay, so now we're just going to have to pass the player in here as well. So we'll do a comma and then we'll do player. Exactly the same thing here, player. Okay. This should work now, hopefully. Okay, so we've got a successful spawn, so that's good. Now we'll go ahead and reset the character. We should spawn onto the same platform, hopefully. Okay, that's good. We didn't get a nil there, so that is definitely better. But we do need to wait a little longer. So let's go wait respawn time plus, I don't know, let's say 1.5 then, or maybe it's a 0.8. Let's give that a try. So this should be working now, hopefully. Fingers crossed it does work. Here we go. Come on. Spawn back on that platform. Okay. So that didn't work, but we've got a step further, which is better. Better than being a step backwards. Sometimes you do have to go backwards to get forwards, so let's hope this works. Let's just get this from here and let's go back up to our spawn stage function here. And now what we'll do is where we have this, we will just say wait player dot parent dot respawn time. I believe that's what it's spelled. Let's try and see if that works now. Let's give it a go. So, okay, that took a long time. So, we need to go ahead and just get rid of this wait here. So we need to know if the player is dead or not. That's the question that we need to know. So what we'll do is we'll add an if statement in here. We'll say if yeah, and then we'll pass the variable through here. We'll say local, we'll say dead. So we'll say if dead equal to true, then wait, then we'll do player dot parent dot respawn time. That way we will say so if dead equals to true, that will do that. If not, it will just go on. So we'll say else. We'll just need to copy this now. And then we'll just paste this in here. Okay, this should work now. Hopefully, fingers... Okay, no it won't. No it won't, because I forgot to pass it through. Ah, that's not what I want to do. So if we just do this, then we just say if dead, then... So what we'll do is we'll come down here, and where we passed through our player character here, we're just going to pass through the variable dead, and we'll make that a local dead here. So now it should be able to detect if the player is dead or not, and hopefully no, I don't give free Roblox, unfortunately. Respawn. Hopefully it works now. Oh, come on. So close. Well, I think I'm going to finish this maybe off stream. And I will catch you guys in the next stream for the next episode.